Hello everyone, welcome guys, welcome. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We're making some changes, so we'll go over those changes. We want to focus more on as we move forward, as equities are giving us sales signals. We've got some good changes to help our traders trading forex. Now, if you notice, you guys don't see my mic there, so I'm having some issues with my mic this evening. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, okay, just put a yes in the chat. Otherwise, we'll hopefully you guys can hear me, and we'll get started here. We have a lot of information to go through. We're going to focus on the overall broad markets this evening. All right. So we are going to call a near-term sell signal in equities. We do have sell signals on every single one of the indexes on the 240-minute time frame. All right. We do have a sell signal on the Russell on the daily time frame. However, on the S&P, Nasdaq, and the Dow, they're still holding their buy signals, but again, sell signals on the 240, so we'll call a sell signal on the markets. Okay, not a major sell signal, all right, but we'll see how things work out with this market. All right, on the S&P, guys, we're still holding our buy signal. So S&P, and we'll go through the big charts in a minute so you guys can see it more clearly and the big macro picture. So S&P has a buy signal, the Dow has a buy signal, Nasdaq has a buy signal. These are on the daily, and the IWM has a sell signal. The VIX is at 19. The VIX did jump up last week to 20, to about 21. In the futures market, all right, we do have a buy signal on the dollar index, guys, and it's holding right at the resistance level there on the dollar. The dollar is currently down slightly, but the E-minis are up. So the Dow E-mini, Nasdaq, the Dow, so S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, and the Russell are currently up. You guys should notice some changes. So we've changed out a lot of the screens over the weekend. So some of the data here is a little different, and cosmetically things will look a little different this evening here. Okay. In Monster Sectors Tracker, the number one sector is still tech, but we do have some concerns. All right, in tech, guys, we have a white candle here and a second white candle that came in last week, still holding its buy signal. Okay, we are nicely in the markup phase, all yellow support and resistance lines here. However, if it fails this week, we could see red candles or a sell signal. Okay, we have support, near-term support at 279, holding the moving average here at 288. All right, so but if it breaks through that support 278 right about in here, we could get a sell signal in tech. Okay, we've added, as I mentioned, right, we've added our Monster Forex tracker, but this is an update, all right, to that system. Normally, we do carry, in the past, we've used Forex, our Forex tracker, but it was so loaded, guys, with a lot of data that it would basically crash the system. So we're using about, I would say, about 20% of the system right now. All right, but we've changed things around, so we still get the data. I think it's actually better data, all right, than before. However, it's more precise. Okay, so moving forward with Forex, as you guys know, has been just a very difficult market to trade in the last last year or so. It's been very, very difficult. We haven't had any real rotations in the Forex market. And on every single time frame, it's been difficult. All right, so what we've done is we are going to track each of the major pairs, okay? Each of the major pairs, one of each group, all right? And I'll go through this in a minute here, okay? But just, we're gonna track every time we do our live stream, we are going to track each major pair within that group. And if that major pair is consolidating, all right, or is in a range, right, there's a good chance we might not trade that pair, all right? We know we might trade the range, but overall we'll stay away from that particular pair, but more importantly, that whole group as a whole. And we'll do that throughout the week. However, if that major pair is trending, okay, we'll certainly trade that pair. If it's in the markup phase, it's trending, either long or short, we'll trade that pair, and then we'll look for other opportunities within that group as well, okay? So I want to spend some time going through that information here. All right, hold on. We're going to bring in our times. All right, we'll do this. Okay, if you guys notice here, pound dollar has been consolidating for a long time here. All right, that's not tradable. All right, hey guys, welcome. That's not tradable. All right, so if we take a look at pound dollar here, that's not tradable. Now pound dollar, right, is a major pair, major currency pair, right? We have pound dollar, we have pound Aussie, but the pound dollar is a major pair for that group, for the pound group. So guess what? Right? It's not trending, it's consolidating, so we would wait. And that's on the daily time frame. We will wait for that, not only that pair, for that group moving forward. All right? So we're going to isolate these markets, the Forex market, a bit. Okay? Euro dollar, so the euro pairs, the euro group. All right? The euro group, it's consolidating right here, guys. It's in a range between resistance here and within support here, right? Support, resistance, tight range, not tradable. So, right, guess what? If that major pair within that group, which is euro, the euro dollar, is not trending, guess what? There's a good chance that the other pairs within that group is not trending. So we would what? Leave it alone, right? Leave that group alone. All right. Same thing for the dollar pairs, right? So USD, right? So we went through pound dollar, euro dollar, and now dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, you guys notice here, dollar Swiss is very similar to the dollar index, right? Here's the dollar index right here, the futures market. Here is dollar Swiss right here in Forex, same price action. It does have a buy signal, right? Wants to break out, but guess what? Hasn't broken out, still consolidating in the accumulation phase. Okay, so for right now, we would leave those dollar pairs alone. All right, pound yen, you guys know pound yen is a big mover. All right, it is in the markup phase. All right, it is in the markup phase, but it's holding. This is on the daily time frame now, right, to give us a new buy signal. So we would wait, all right, on the on pound yen and on the dollar, I'm sorry, on the yen pairs before we trade those on any of the time frames. Okay, on any of the time frames. This is different than what we've done in the past, right? So in the past, we wanted to trade monster scalper or forex, we would just go to our system, right? Now we'll go right to the majors, just similar to what we do, guys, with the equity markets. We go to the indexes first, right? Then the sectors, then the systems, right? And our individual trades. We're going to do the same thing for the forex market. I think this is great to do this. Okay, so pound yen, no buy signals on pound yen. Right, it is in the markup phase, so we know buyers are still in control. All right, once it breaks resistance, even when it breaks resistance, gives a buy signal, not only will we trade that pair, but we'll look for other pairs within that group that is breaking out as well. And you guys know these pairs will follow each other. Okay, so currently no buying in the dollar pairs. So our forex traders, our monster scalper traders, all right, no buying in the dollar pairs. No buying in the pound pairs. No buying in the euro pairs. Okay. Yen pairs, no buying currently. Okay. Aussie pairs, if you guys notice here, and we'll go through, we've got the larger charts, the big charts also set up. If you guys notice here, Aussie, New Zealand, I think the Aussie group has how many pairs? Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Aussie dollar is the major pair within that group. Guess what? All right, Aussie New Zealand is breaking out, right? Buyers are definitely buying. It is in the markup phase. We could trade this pair. All right, we could trade that group. Okay, so Aussie New Zealand, it is a major, right? It's not consolidating. It is trending here, right? So we can start taking trades either on the 60, on the 240, even the daily. All right, so a forex dominator traders, you guys could actually trade it. Now that buy signal was all the way over here. It's too late, right? But you could, right, if we'd done this earlier, you could have gotten into this trade and continue to hold and scale up. All right, but you can also look for opportunities in Aussie. All right, Aussie New Zealand, Aussie dollar, so AUD, I'm sorry, hold on. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is the major. AUD, USD. All right, so Aussie dollar, let me change this. Hold on. Let's just do this. All right, we'll leave this for now. All right, Aussie Swiss, and then Aussie CAD. New Zealand dollar, all right, so New Zealand dollar is the major for the Kiwi pairs, okay? So it is short, so we would look for opportunities to go short in Aussie dollar, okay? All right. The number one pair right now in the Aussie group is Aussie New Zealand, right? So if you look at your monster scalper, all right. Now monster scalper on the 240 will be different. but Forex dominator on the daily time frame, that's number one. All right, so we'll go through these, guys. We'll fine tune everything. This is brand new. I think this is going to help you guys quite a bit, right? Get in the right group, right, at the right time, rather than, because if you guys look here, just staying out of this, right, the pound pairs, guess what, right? Just staying out of this will save you a lot of hassle, a lot of work, and reduce your losses there. Same thing for euro dollar. All right, euro dollar consolidating. All right, same thing there. No, guess what? If it breaks through that resistance, finally breaks out, start getting good trades on the 60 240. We'll start trading it. Okay, and then we'll know when these trades are setting up. So if you look at pound yen here, pound yen right here, definitely setting up. All right. So we've revamped Monster Forex Tracker. So this is new. We'll go through these as when we do our live streams every week. VIX right now, guys, is at 1908 on the VIX. The Mag 7s had some selling on Friday. And we do have some sell signals. Okay. So Microsoft has a sell signal. All right, so Microsoft has a sell signal here. Red candle sell signal. We do have support here. All right, but we have a sell signal. If it breaks through that support right here, guys, we could move lower. All right, so Microsoft has a sell signal. Tesla is holding for now. White candle though. So Tesla has a white candle, but it's holding. Nvidia, 2 white candles here. So 2 days of pullback, right? No red candle yet, but guys, look at this here. Our buy signal was right at resistance here. All right, so the Mag 7s, they're hanging on, right? Struggling to hang on right there. That's Nvidia. I said Microsoft has a sell signal. Look at Facebook. Meta, sellers are coming in heavy, guys. All right, so sellers are coming in heavy in Meta. So we are making some changes, good changes. And as this market change, right, as this market comes down, we'll see Forex move. So we want to get ready for Forex. You guys know what's going on with Bitcoin, right? We'll go over that. So Meta, guys, sell signal came in all the way here. Our sell signal came in at 725. Buy signal was at 770, most recent, 70.78. It's trading at 621. Our next support level is at 491 here. All right, 491. Our monster scalper traders, I want you guys to start really getting ready here on the mags. That's the index. Let's see, Google right here. Google is still holding fairly well. All right, that's holding up nicely there. Buy signal here, yellow support and resistance. So it's doing its own thing. That's good. Amazon has a buy signal. It's pulled back a bit. Right here, you guys can see that. Resistance is here. All right, resistance is here. A bit of a pullback there. I am very excited about what we'll be doing with Forex, okay, and Monster Scalper. Apple holding here. So we've got about 2 or 3 of the Max 7s that are holding firm. Okay. All righty. Let's go through these indexes. Okay, so Dow, guys, Dow on the 240 has a sell signal. All right, Dow on the 240 has a sell signal. Now, we've talked about getting out of this market early because we are late in the cycle. All right, we might get that Christmas rally. Okay, but we really extended. We're really overbought, guys. Okay, we're really overbought. So we are paying attention to the 240. All right, so the 240-minute time frame. We're going to, once we get sell signals on those time frames, we are done. So we are done with equities for right now. Now, if we break through that resistance, right, whether it's this week, next week, we get a buy signal, we'll call a new buy signal. But we are going, right, from the 240, moving forward, not the daily time frame. All right, daily time frame would be too late. All right, if these sellers come in and we're on the daily time frame, guys, you're gonna give up a lot of profits. Okay, so 240, can't use the 60-minute. Too much noise on the 60-minute. 240 works well. All right, so sell signal on the Dow on the 240. Dow on the daily, it's still holding its buy signal here on the daily. All right, so buy signal is here on the daily time frame for the Dow. A bit of a pullback, holding here, struggling to hold. No red candles yet. Weekly time frame still looks good. Monthly time frame should look good as well on the monthly. S&P on the 240, we have a sell signal. All right, so on the 240, guys, we have a sell signal here. All right, previous resistance becomes support right here. Red candle, sell signal, we should be out. S&P on the 240. So sell signal, S&P, and on the Dow on the 240. S&P on the daily, right? Just like the Dow, struggling to hold there, trading below resistance on the buy signal on the daily. Hold on. All righty. All right, weekly on the S&P, still holding firm. All right. Monthly time frame on the S&P, still holding firm. NASDAQ on the 240, sell signal on the NASDAQ on the 240. So sell signal on the 240 on the Dow. S&P, now the NASDAQ, okay? And again, guys, we're high in the markup phase. Here is sellers that came in April, okay? I'm not saying that sellers could come in here and really push that price lower. We don't know. So we've got to get out when we get those sell signals, okay? Protect your capital. All right, that's the game right now. Defense, 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 defense. All right? Here was your opportunity to make money, right? Now we'll get out, wait. No, if the price, again, breaks through that resistance, give a new buy signal on these indexes, we'll call it again, okay? NASDAQ on the daily, same thing here. Buy signal here, white candles, struggling to hold most recent resistance right here, okay? Weekly, still holding. Monthly, still holding. Russell on the 240 has a sell signal. All right. IWM, red candle, sell signal. We should be out. If it breaks through that resistance, we get a new buy signal, we'll call it. Otherwise, we should be out. So our stock boss traders, bull master traders, Really pay attention to your individual trades, right? We are not sending out any alerts, no new alerts for equities, okay, in either Stock Boss or Bullmaster. Russell on the daily sell signal on the daily. Now, Russell is the only index with a sell signal on the daily, okay? We are hoping that the others follow, guys. We want this market to correct, okay? We want this market to correct. So mark down, mark up. I know our opinion doesn't matter, but we want a discount, right? So we want this market to correct so we can get stocks at a cheaper price. All right, so as we've gotten out at the top, all right, using our systems, guess what? We want this market to correct so that we can get in later at a later date, cheaper, get a cheaper price. So IWM, Russell Small Cap, so our Stock Boss traders, be on high alert because this is your, right, this is your index. This is small cap. So IWM Russell, 2000 small caps. We have a sell signal not only on the 240 here, but also on the daily time frame. Look what happened the last time we got a sell signal on the daily, okay? Now, I'm not saying that will happen. Sellers will come in heavy. We just don't know, okay? So we've got to be out. NASDAQ on the weekly holding for now. I'm sorry, Russell. Russell on the weekly holding for now. Russell on the monthly holding for now. And here's your resistance right here, okay? Bitcoin. No surprise with Bitcoin. We've been talking about Bitcoin. Let's see where it's at. All right. On the 240 on Bitcoin, let's bring in our, these are all new charts, guys. So we've got to frame this again. You guys remember on Bitcoin, you've got support at, current support is at 100. The high on Bitcoin up here is 124, 125. We're trading at 105. Currently, we've got a green candle here, all right, at 105. So we're getting a bounce from support here, all right? No buy signals. We'll watch it. If it gives a buy signal, we'll just watch it, guys. Previous buy signal here failed. All right, we'll see how this price action works out. We do have fairly decent support here. All right, right at 100. All right, if it breaks through that, if it tests that support again, we might see it break to 90. All right, so big support levels. Now you're going to have traders, retail traders attempt, okay, to move this price higher on Bitcoin. So far, that has failed. You guys remember 108 was a big support, was a big, big support number. So they've broken through that support. 100 is holding. But if you guys notice, we're making lower highs, lower lows. Don't be fooled by that price action. So 100 is here. Okay. 90 is our next support. All right, so they will struggle to keep that price up. 90, big support here. And then 80 is down here, okay? It keeps moving lower. And then 70 all the way down here, okay? So holding support right now, right? Support at 100, building some support there, here, all through here. right? Trading at 105. We'll see what it does. Bitcoin can move fast, so um, that could change. Okay, we could get a good buying opportunity around 90. If it comes down to 90, that might be a good opportunity, or 80, all right, or 70. Who knows? Bottom line, it's making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so it went from 125. All right, if you guys see this, right, sometimes this price action here, if you look at just the price action for the current day, it's up. All right, might look like buyers are buying this, but if you look big picture, went from 125, 123, 121,000, 115,000, 114, 111, 17, and now it's at 105. So we got lower highs, lower lows. Do not trust this move in Bitcoin. All right, not yet. We'll keep it on the 5-minute time frame. All right, so if we get a buy signal on that on the 240, we'll let you guys know. A buy signal might come in. Where might a buy signal come in? On the 240. We've got support here. Previous resistance becomes support. So right about here on the break here, we could get a buy signal, or where the previous buy signal came in. Ideally, right, if we're going to call it on the 240, we would like that buy signal to come in right about here. Okay. All right, and that would be about 114. 114. We're a long way from that though. Okay. On the daily time frame, we saw the daily, weekly time frame on Bitcoin. So the weekly time frame, guys, on Bitcoin has a sell signal. Notice how we are paying attention to these larger markets rather than the individual trades. So rather than just go into your favorite stock of your favorite currency pair, we want to look at what's happening in these markets. Okay, so Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, guys, is trading within a nice channel here. So here's the high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low of the channel. We do have a sell signal, so that buy signal fell right at the bottom of that channel. White candles here, we're making lower lows right here, right? If we break through that support area, right, that downward trend line, that would be a major concern for Bitcoin. However, if we break through the top, right here, we could see Bitcoin really get going. Okay, monthly time frame, nothing there on Bitcoin. All right, now this is new. We've started. Now normally we pay attention to just pound yen, big picture on pound yen. Moving forward, we'll review not only pound yen, but all the majors for Forex, okay? All the majors for Forex. All right, so pound yen on the 240. So no trades yet. So you guys will notice moving forward, we'll be waiting a lot. All right, much like what we do in equities, right? We'll wait. Now we've been waiting for Forex, but now you guys will know why we are waiting. All right. It's one thing to wait, but you need to know what you're waiting for. Okay? So pound yen. All right. Now pound yen is not a major pair. It's a major pair for us, but really the institutions like dollar yen. All right, but sometimes there's a lot of conflict with dollar yen because dollar yen will move with the dollar pairs. Okay, but we like pound yen, so we'll use pound yen. All right, it's trading within a range. So you guys could see that they're on the 240. Okay, it's within a range. So no buying yet, no buy signal. Right, if it can break the resistance here, gives a buy signal, right, starts to break out, we'll start taking some trades, right? Or we might start taking trades. So no trades yet in pound yen or the yen pairs, okay? If you find an isolated trade, it's up to you guys, right? But we won't call it. Pound yen on the daily time frame. We are moving higher. Yeah, we're moving higher. All right. Still messy, but we're moving higher. Okay. All right. So mark down, if you can call it mark down. All right. Mark up on the daily time frame. Very choppy. All right. So we'll look for it to break resistance to give us a buy signal here. Right on the daily time frame. Our weekly time frame, it is in the markup phase. Nicely done there. Great trades on the weekly. So we know the overall trend. Pound yen is on the weekly time frame with a buy signal. So if that breaks through here, that might help the daily and the 240. On the monthly time frame, we're moving higher as well, and we've got resistance above. So resistance here and resistance here. But right now, no trades in pound yen or the yen pairs. All right, dollar Swiss, dollar switch, which is a major. Now, we don't have to follow, we'll still follow the dollar index. Dollar Swiss mimics the dollar index, okay? So no trades in the dollar pairs on the 240, that's the 240. There was a buy signal here. On the daily time frame, guys, look here on the daily. Now, the dollar is setting up really nice. All right, really good markdown phase. So we are waiting on the dollar. Now we do have a buy signal. Good markdown phase. Buy signal is here. It's pulled back a bit. All right. Pull back a bit. So if we can get past, as a matter of fact, if you guys want it, you could start looking for trades right in the dollar pairs. Okay, so dollar Swiss buy signal here, just holding. Look at that though. Look at the discount here. Okay, and then the highs all the way up here. This is on the daily time frame. So the 240, right? You could wait for a break of resistance here. Buy signal on the 240. You could certainly look to take the trade and perhaps look for opportunities. If that happens on the 60-minute as well. Okay, that's dollar Swiss daily and the weekly. That will open up, if buyers come in, that will open up the weekly, and we could see the weekly start to move. But we should be watching the dollar here and perhaps slowly start right, to build positions, right? Pound yen on the 240, nothing here, right? It is setting up. Good markdown phase. No buy signals yet. On the daily time frame, do I have a daily? Yeah, hold on. Let's move this. All right, so pound dollar on the daily. You guys are gonna love this, guys. You guys will love this. All right, so pound dollar on the daily time frame. We're consolidating, right? But we're not consolidating at the bottom. We're consolidating at the top. So what do we have? We have distribution. Okay, we have distribution here, right? Getting into the markdown phase like this. Okay, if it breaks through resistance here, that's reaccumulation. But guess what? Right, we will just wait. Okay, even shorting it might be difficult because it's not quite in the markdown phase yet, so we wait. All right. All right, pound dollar. So we went through pound yen, dollar Swiss, and now this is pound dollar. Pound dollar is setting up, okay, right here on the weekly. No trades in pound dollar or the pound pairs. So you guys will, moving forward, when we trade a group, we're going to stick with that group and just pound it. All right, so we're going to stick with that group and just stay with it. Pound on the monthly, pound dollar on the monthly, it has a buy signal, but nothing yet, okay? Our daily time frame will be our time frame that we follow the most. 4 entries. All right, just like we use the indexes, okay, on the daily. Okay. Euro dollar 240, right? Nothing here, no buy signals. On the daily, guys, it's consolidating. All right, so if it's consolidating on the daily, then we wait. Now, we don't have to have a buy signal. As long as we have buyers coming in, like green candles developing, we might call it on the 240 and even on the 60, okay? All right, but we know now it's consolidating. Nothing there in that whole euro group. So we stay away from that group. Euro dollar. That's daily, weekly, monthly. And then Aussie dollar. On the 240. So if you guys know our monster scalper traders, you know we've been waiting. Now you know why we are waiting. All right. Now you guys know why we are waiting and what we are waiting for. Okay, so Aussie dollar on the 240, right? We're consolidating. You see that consolidation in here? Not tradable. All right, not tradable on the 240. Aussie on the daily. On the daily. Now, Aussie New Zealand, it's doing its own thing. But overall, guys, All right, it's consolidating. So Aussie dollar, and Aussie dollar is the major. All right, it is the major currency pair for that group. Okay, so Aussie dollar, nothing. So we wait on that group. All right, moving forward, I think you guys will like this. Okay, it's all about focus and where these institutions are moving capital. Okay, so Aussie dollar daily, Aussie dollar weekly, right? Even on the weekly here, you guys can see. All right, support. All right, resistance, right? Let's bring it here. Consolidating on the weekly, monthly. New Zealand dollar. Now, New Zealand dollar is on the 240. It's breaking down a bit. Okay, so let's take a look. So it's in the markdown phase. Now, if we brought in our short, you guys will see that it's been some good short opportunities. Okay, so let's do this. So on the daily time frame, right, it's moving lower. So let's move that. So it is trending. So it's not consolidating like the other pairs. All right, so it is in a short. Now it is choppy coming down, but there is a short there. So we could look for short opportunities in the Kiwi group. So the daily has a current short, all right? And it's near support here, right? So it is near a big support here. So you could see buyers come back in. On the 240, let's bring in our short signals. So as we go through these every week, we'll be ready. And we'll catch these rotations, okay? All right, on the 240, all right, 240, sell short here, buy to cover, so short, buy to cover, a current short hold in here. All right, what you could do is look at short opportunity in your monster scalper system. So NZD, USD, short. So it is in a short trade on the 240 and on the daily here. Okay. Just be aware though, we have some support, a lot of support there. Okay. NZD, USD on the weekly time frame. Big macro time frame, we have support here, and then here we are. Okay. Be aware of that. So that short trade might be over, okay? But you guys get the picture here. On the monthly time frame, New Zealand dollar, we have a big support here on the monthly, okay? Now we'll watch these areas just like we do any of the other markets. All right. So if we break through that support here, that big support, that might give some additional opportunities to go short. Yeah, we have some support here, but look at the setup. So the Kiwi pairs is short. If it breaks through that big support here, guys, this big support goes back 2008, 2010, all the way down. But this one here, yeah, 2008, 1998, all the way 1992, 1993. So this is a big support here, not a big support here, not as big as this support here though. So you can see a bounce here. If it breaks through, this is why we're bringing in these big charts. If it breaks through, you could see a big move lower down, okay? All right. All right. That's the Kiwi on the monthly. Okay. What time is it? We have a few more minutes here. So Monster Scalper short. Let's take a look at the Kiwi here. All right. So NZD USD. Good short here. Current short here. NZD Swiss. All right, a decent short here, a decent short here. Look at the daily. See the daily here. All right, and then New Zealand CAD. All right, a good short here, current short here. On the 60. So they've been shorting these pretty good, guys. Okay. So I would wait. You might get a bounce. It might close this and then wait for the next short. But that short has been going on for a while, right? So while we're looking at the pound and the dollar, guess what? Kiwi has been giving some really good trades, okay? So moving forward, we'll catch them a lot quicker. On the 240 short, all right, so dollar, NZD USD short. All right, so short here, right? Decent trades, guys. Look at this. Good short here, good short here in the current short on the 240. That's NZD Swiss. NZD dollar, a good short here, fairly decent short here, good short here. All right, see what happens, right, when there's focus. All right, New Zealand CAD on the 240. All of this is happening now, guys, in Monster Scalper. All right, so New Zealand CAD, good short here. That failed, a good short here, okay? So when we go through these, right, we look to see on these bigger time frames, right, when we end those shorts. So let's say you shorten it here. Let's say New Zealand dollar here, right? We look at these bigger time frames, like on the weekly, to see if we're gonna break through here. All right, or even on the monthly here. All right, so see if we need to perhaps take these sell signals or buy to cover seriously. Okay, we'll still cover, right, but we might wait for a breakthrough to get back in. All right, just like we do in equities. I just love this. I just love it, the way we'll be tracking this now. In Forex Dominator long, short, Forex Dominator short. All right, so we're bringing back Forex Dominator where we'll manage it every week. So the Kiwi pairs New Zealand dollar. All right, here's a good short going here. So don't be afraid to trade your Forex Dominator now. All right, here Forex NZD CHF on the daily time frame. All right, good short here, good short here. Choppy on the way down, but fairly decent trades there. And New Zealand CAD, choppy here, very choppy here. Okay, but New Zealand dollar, a decent short. New Zealand Swiss, different short. But the bottom line, we're on the right side. All right, so we're on the right side of the trade. And if you guys notice here, New Zealand dollar is number 3. All right, New Zealand dollar, number 3. All the New Zealand pairs. So Aussie New Zealand, that's the reverse. That's number 1. All right, Aussie New Zealand yen. All right, New Zealand yen is number 2. I don't know why. Well, that's on the 240. Yeah, I need to change these. Okay. All right, still working on setting everything up, but you guys get the idea. Okay. So important that our equity traders wait. Okay. If you're trading with us, if you're doing your own thing, you do your own thing. All right. But if you're trading with us, if you're trading Bullmaster, Stock Boss, we are waiting. Okay. Forex or Forex traders, wait for the dollar. The dollar is setting up. It has a buy signal on the daily. Just wait for those pairs to come in. Right, those signals to come in either on your 60 or on the 240. All right, that Kiwi trade, really keep an eye on it. That might be done. Right, they've been shorting that for a while. Okay, so that might be done. I might get one more leg lower. If it breaks that big support, you could see sellers, short sellers really jump in. Okay, but good news, we're adding this filter to Forex. So I'm excited. All right, so every week, not only will we focus on our monster scalper system, but we'll focus on these majors, what they're doing. Okay, thanks guys, thanks for coming. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.